Something that comes up all the time, even during presidential debates, might be the cost of energy, right? So how can we all save some more money? And I think it's very important for all of us because wasting things is just not smart. Sounds anti-American, actually. I have Nathan Shafer joining me from Shafer Heating and Cooling, and I want to ask him a question about lowering energy costs. Nathan, how are you?
Good, Jim. How are you today?
I am living the dream. Thank you so much. You're the guy to ask about lowering my energy costs, saving money, because when people have you come out to the home, you're either helping them heat it in the winter or cool it in the summer. And we know that heating and cooling is expensive, right?
It is, yeah, it is. About 60 to 80% of the utility bill for the home comes from heating, cooling, and hot water. And so, very important factor to talk about is, hey, if we want to drop our utility bills and save money, I think we're talking about the right topic right now when it comes to heating and air, being a big portion of that utility bill, three-fourths of it. So, yeah, there's definitely many ways that we can start helping save money on that utility bill.
What are the top three things that come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, obviously is going to be making sure the system is sized properly, because size does matter tremendously. We don't want a system that's oversized and short cycling and kicking on and off. We don't want a system that's undersized and it just runs 24/7. It can never keep up. And the only way you can properly size a system from day one and starting is doing what we call a proper load calculation or engineering analysis on the home. So everything's to be taken into consideration. I mean, people live in the home, the type of flooring, the insulation values, the windows, which way is north facing, right? Attic insulation, floor. So all these things come into place, not just the old rule of thumb and how many square feet is it? Oh, okay, it must be a 3 ton. And unfortunately, in the industry, that's most commonly what happens. Consumer reports show that 7 out of 10 homes are missized, which is scary. If you look around your neighborhood right now and, 10 of your neighbors just got new ACs or new furnaces, seven of them are improperly sized, according to studies. And so sizing is definitely number one. Now, maybe you have an existing system. Okay, how do I help reduce my utility bill, my heating and cooling costs? The next one's going to be how clean is that system? Is it running efficiently and properly? So having regular maintenance done on the system, keeping the coils clean, the blower wheels clean, and overall inside the system, the ductwork, everything clean and running properly and efficiently. Start devices and refrigerant pressures, all these different things is really going to drastically help keep that utility bill reduced. A third one, is oftentimes, we hear things, maybe it's on the news or things on social media or wherever, is, hey, if you're not home, two things really that come to mind on this one is if you're not home, set it back. You go to work during the day and let's say it's a 90-degree summer day. You're not home. Maybe you want to keep it at 70 degrees. Hey, turn that up to 75 or 80. You're not home. Why cool it? Well, in reality, and vice versa in the wintertime, turn it down. The reality is it's so much harder for that system to try to catch back up later. Now, if we're talking a degree or two, right, maybe it is going to be 95 and, here in Ohio, in Southern Ohio where we're at, 90 degrees is the design temperature the systems are designed to operate at. We might get a few days in a year, that's 95 and 98 or 100. Okay, maybe running the system at night or a couple degrees warmer all day, every day. Yes, that's going to help that system because it's maxed out. But to take and do setbacks daily, right, is what we're talking about here and trying to catch back up. It's really hard on that system. Imagine your car starting and stopping in town or going from 0 to 60 just constantly, right? It's going to be really bad fuel mileage versus just getting out on the highway and setting the cruise at 60 mph and just cruising right along. Your car is going to get much better fuel mileage. You have much less wear and tear, much less maintenance. It's just going to be much better for the system. So your system operates just like that. So it's much easier to maintain than do setbacks and try to catch back up. Another one too that ties right in with that is they say, well, if you're not using that part of the house, close those registers. Don't heat and cool those extra rooms that you're not using. And in fact, once again, that really hurts the performance of the system, which is going to hurt your utility bill because those are not insulated walls inside your home. They're all inside what we call the envelope. The way that system is sized for the BTUs needed for that house, that's all inside those outside walls. And so if I've got a hot and cold room over here, that's infiltrating right into the main part of the house that we're trying to heat or to cool. And also, too, by closing off those registers, that system can't now properly deliver the airflow that it needs to get rid of throughout the entire duct system, which means we're going to cause that system to fall behind and really restrict it and labor harder, kind of like trying to run a marathon with a mask on, right? You just can't breathe. That's what the effect that your system's going to have. And so, once again, we don't know, but those are some key tips to really helping maybe false beliefs that are out there that a lot of us try to do, and we think that we're doing the right thing in helping reduce our utility costs, and instead we're actually doing quite the opposite and making it harder on our system.
Yeah, no, those are some great tips. I like what you say about when you're out of the house all day, don't necessarily change the thermostat because you're going to have to make your system, whether it's heating or cooling, work that much harder when you come back home. The analogy of being on the freeway, maintaining that speed. They say using cruise controls better even when you're driving 4 hours from point A to point B at 70 miles an hour. It's best actually to put on cruise control because it will just be even, right? And that's pretty much what we want in our homes. How about upstairs, downstairs, really quick? Let's say it's summertime, it's 95 degrees outside, and we're spending the majority of our time downstairs. Do we have to keep the upstairs as cool as the downstairs, or can it be a little higher?
So I guess to clarify on that example, this would be like if you had two systems. Okay, yeah. So if you've got two systems, not necessarily, but once again, you're not going to want a big temperature difference. Because I've had that question come up before too, that well, I'll just turn that one off or turn it way up or way down, depending on the season. But once again, it's in the same home, right? And so if you had a sealed doorway, like an exterior door separating the two, which would be odd. Most of us don't in our home, right? It's probably an open stairwell, or if anything, an interior door at the top. That air is going to infiltrate throughout. The ceiling in your downstairs is not insulated from the upstairs. And so we're going to create more load on the other one that you're still trying to heat or cool. And so, yes, you could change it a little bit, have a few degrees difference, but I would not suggest making a big difference. If you get that downstairs set at 70, so you're living, you spend your time, I wouldn't have the upstairs set at, 80 and 85. You are going to have infiltration and cause that downstairs system to still work harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. As always, Nathan, thank you so much for joining me today on the program.
Hey, you bet. Anytime. Thank you, Jim.